you know, you're a beautiful girl and everything, but I just,
Okay.
for protection.
All right. So body composition here. The total body water 133.4 pounds. Dry lean mass 46.5 pounds. Body fat based weight 159.1 pounds for a total of 339 pounds. Let's look at metabolism here. Okay, basal metabolic rate about 2,133 calories. So that is what you're burning at rest. Okay, so
Burning at what?
burning at rest. So
Burning
that
at
means
rest.
That's what your body needs to do its daily functions and activities. So it takes the energy for your lungs to breathe, for your heart to beat, for your legs to move. It takes energy for all that.
What?
Yes. Okay, so 21.
It doesn't happen automatically?
No. Mm-mm.
It takes energy?
We have to create a calorie
Positive
deficit.
energy?
We have to create a calorie deficit. How many calories are you taking in?
Probably about 3,000 calories a day.
Okay. Do you exercise any?
Huh?
Do you exercise any?
I do. I go to the YMCA twice a week.
What type of exercise do you do, or how long do you?
Just aerobic exercise for an hour a day.
Okay. That's pretty good.
Well, I'm holding up, but it's taking a while to get into the groove. Miss Amy, you're telling me that every part of my body has to have energy before it can work?
I do.
Even my heart?
Mm-hmm. Your heart's a muscle. Okay. So let's look here. Body mass index. Okay, so body mass index, you're at 47.3.
Is that
This
good or
is a
bad?
normal body mass index.
25?
Right there.
25 is normal.
Mm-hmm.
And mine is 47,
Yes.
so I'm way off the chart.
Mm-hmm. That's what we're going to work on. Body fat percentage, you're at 46.9%. This is normal body fat percentage in this lighter gray zone. So we've got to move our numbers closer to these two zones right here. Okay.
So I'm way off the charts.
Yes. Look here at the bottom. We're going to be tracking. Going to do a cumulative weight, skeletal muscle mass, and body fat percentage because we want you to lose body fat. We want to preserve as much muscle as we can. Okay. Preserve our muscle, burn our fat.
Gotcha.
That's going to be the correct way to lose weight. Now, how do we help you do that? With protein-enriched meal replacements. The protein serves two purposes. It promotes satiety, which means it helps you to stay full longer, and it protects your muscle with your weight loss.
Okay.
Okay, so protein.
What is
enriched
it,
meal
satiety?
Satiety, which means it helps you to stay full longer.
Okay.
Okay, because you're going to have maybe a little bar or a shake.
Okay.
That's going to be a meal.
Oh.
Okay, we're going to cut you down to create a calorie deficit. So we're going below this right here. Okay, I'm going to try you at 15 to 1,600 calories per day. Okay, so what's going to happen? Where are you going to get your extra energy from?
I don't know. You tell me. God, I guess.
The fat stores.
The fat stores.
That's where you're going to utilize and burn the fat.
Ooh, I seen that thing that you had in the windowsill. Is that really what fat looks like?
Dispersed around the body. It's not a big clump like that. So it's dispersed all over the body like that.
That's awful looking, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Should be motivating.
Motivating toward trying to get it off your body.
Yes.
Wow.
Let's see. Okay, so no food allergies.
I'm at 339 pounds.
Mm-hmm. Do you drink water?
I don't drink enough.
How much do you drink?
Probably less than a quart a day. How much do you think I ought to drink?
We want you to have 64 ounces of liquids per day.
64 ounces.
At least 32 water.
64 ounces is a gallon. Right?
Mm-hmm. You can do it. You can do it. Do you drink water bottles?
No, Amy, I drink
Okay.
out of the fountain. But I'm scared of it because I'm thinking that it may be contaminated.
Okay.
But I have been trying to drink more water. But I do drink like three or four cups of coffee in the morning, usually 3, and I drink about 2 glasses of tea during the day. And then in between there, I may drink a cola or two.
Okay.
But hardly ever I drink a cola or two.
Regular cola or diet cola?
Regular. Do I need to be drinking diet stuff?
I would eliminate it if you can because of the caffeine content. Could
Well,
you
it's
cut
root
your,
beer.
Could you cut your coffee to 2 cups a day?
Yeah.
Okay. Cut your coffee to 2 cups a day. You'll have some shakes in with your meal plan. So
Okay.
you're going to be able to count that as part of your liquids, part of your 64 ounces. But I want you to have at least 32 ounces of water. Water helps the body oxidize and burn fat.
Okay.
Okay, so I need you to
And,
get in
and let
that
me ask you
water.
this. Let me ask you this. I just got hooked long about Christmas time. You know those little round chocolate donuts?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know the other day until I read the back of the box that you're supposed to only eat 3 per serving. I've been sitting down eating sometimes 8, 10, 12 because they're so good. I dip them in my coffee and they're really, really good. But I just started that habit, so I'm pretty sure
We can break it.
I'm pretty sure I can
Yeah.
break that habit.
We got to break that.
I can get rid of that. Do we have something that I can substitute for that won't have near as much fat content to it?
We're going to have a bar. You can do a bar or you can do a shake.
Okay.
Okay. And Savannah's going to go over all the products with you as far as that. Okay.
She already gave me a list.
Okay.
She gave me a
She'll
list.
come back in afterwards.
Okay,
and go
I
over
looked
and
at the
help you-
list.
Help you pick out all your things.
Okay.
Because we're going to hit 15 to 1,600 calories per day. I'm going to write that down for you.
That's our goal.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Yes.
every day.
Yes.
So that means I need to start counting calories. Every time I eat something, I need to look at the back of it and see how many calories per serving.
You have to.
And do I need to write it down? Do I need to keep a little
Yes.
chart?
You have to keep up with it somehow. So you can do a smartphone app or you can do paper and pencil as long as you're keeping up with it somehow.
Okay.
If we don't, we forget about 40% of the calories we take in.
Really?
We forget.
And you've been doing this for 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
And you've been seeing major results?
Mm-hmm.
Major results
And committed patients.
in committed patients
Mm-hmm. Yes.
off of the food diet.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, it adds if you're exercising some, walking, going, doing aerobics or whatever.
So I'm very pleased that you're already into the aerobics.
Okay.
Continue that.
Continue that.
We're not going to change anything on that.
Okay.
Protein content. So I want you to have 60 grams of protein. Okay. You're going to have right at 45 grams of protein through your supplements, depending on whether you do 3 or 4 a day. 3, you're going to get right at 45. Okay. We really need to bump it up to probably 80, but I need to see where your kidneys are. Where your one kidney is. So we need to make sure that everything's okay with that initially.
Okay.
Okay. Do
All
you
right.
know how your functioning levels have been?
I don't have a clue.
Okay.
This is all science to me. This is all Greek to me.
We'll figure it out.
Thank you.
So you've not had an A1C in a while?
Never.
Oh no, that's your diabetic test.
Oh, my diabetic test. Yes, I had it. It was right before Christmas,
Okay.
and it was up there around 14.
14?
That was
Oh.
high.
Okay.
And Dr. Baba in Dyersburg started putting me on that something Nova,
Mm-hmm.
70-30.
Okay.
I had to shake it real good, and he told me to do it like an hour before I eat. That way it attacks the amino acids in
Okay.
the food. And since then, I've dropped in like 2 months. I went from a 14 down to about a 7. So I'm now presently at a 7,
And
or right
that's-
around a 7.
And that's with your 35 units?
That's with my 70-30, doing 70 units a day, 35 in the morning, 35 in the evening, giving myself an insulin shot. See, I went through a lot of trauma pertaining to BS with law enforcement and various people that has made false accusations in my life to the point that it's basically, I don't know if they was trying to drive me to an early grave or drive me crazy or causing me to snap, but it did cause my younger brother at the age of 51 an early death. And I don't know if you know this or not. I don't know if you're going to agree with this or not, but stress is the number one killer towards people trying to take on too much. You know, trying to work, trying to do your job, trying to do too many somersaults and cartwheels.
Right.
Stress is the number one killer in America. And stress will actually kill you. And this time last year, I was in that down mode and didn't even realize it because of the aggravation that was going on in my life. Finally, the individual that was doing all the aggravating finally become deceased, and the neighborhood in and of itself kind of halfway quieted down, but I was still on that downward spiral. And it wasn't until I guess long about August or September I got a telephone call out of Phoenix, Arizona from Silver Sneakers telling me that I was eligible or available to go on a fitness program at their cost.
And that's where you're doing the YMCA?
That day, I literally cried because I knew that that was a godsend. Because I knew up until then, I was literally dying. I was dying emotionally. I was dying physically. I was dying. Because of the diabetes and because of the toll of the depression. Like I said, it got to the point that I didn't even want to get out of the bed and go use the bathroom because I was in a state of depression. And I've never been in a state of depression like this. So I finally started going to the Y. You know, I had to work my way in there, you know, towards doing the exercise thing. And we was in more control then of my diabetes towards monitoring it. Once we figured out that my diabetes level was way too high, the sugar content was way too high, that's whenever long about, give or take long about October, is whenever I got to seeing Dr. Baba, not Bubba, but Baba, like a float bobbing up and down, which is a very good doctor. He's a doctor from India. And that's whenever he monitored me and said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go on 70-30. He first had 30 in the morning and 30 in the evening, and he bumped that up because he took a pill off. But he's a good doctor, and he's monitoring my, what do you call my sugar content?
Your hemoglobin A1C.
What do you call it?
Hemoglobin A1C.
Say it slower.
Hemoglobin A1C.
Hemoglobin. Hemoglobin.
A1C. That's your diabetic test.
Can you spell that?
HEMOGLOBIN A number 1 C.
And that determines your sugar level. Hemoglobin.
Average over the past 3 months.
Okay. See, these are all new words for me. This is all Greek to me. Because up until 2017, I thought that my health was, you know, I knew that I was a little bit overweight, but I didn't realize that I was no diabetic until I got arrested for a charge that I never should have got arrested for out there in Weakley County. And then I wound up going to Bolivar for 2 weeks of being examined. And that's whenever they made the first determination, hey, buddy, you got diabetes. And I had no idea that I had diabetes. And diabetes is a contributing factor with weight, or it can be. You know, you can be a skinny mini and still have diabetes.
Right.
But most people that are heavy, that have any type of mass weight on them, especially if they're old, it will resort to diabetes.
It can.
And it can.
It can.
And your hematoma, the level of your hematoma determines on whether or not you lose your eyesight, or whether or not you got to have a toe amputated or a foot amputated. And I guess that was the part there that Dr. in Duisburg, Dr. Baba, I guess that was the part that he was mostly concerned about towards taking my level from 14 down to a safer level,
So
down around
reducing
6
your
or
risk.
7. Right. And I'm sure 6 or 7 probably ain't even normal, but it's a whole lot better than being up around 14, correct?
Right. 14's out of control.
14's out of control.
Out of control.
What's in control?
Well, you're doing pretty good at 7% range.
As long as I can maintain that.
You have
And the
to
only way
maintain.
that I'm going to maintain that is through exercise and dieting. And that's the reason why I'm here today, is to try to raise a red flag, because I'm 58, soon to be 59 in March. And I realize, you know what, the older that I become, the more likely that I'm not going to be able to control this diabetes problem. So at the age of 58, soon to be 59, I really need to go to some professional people that can help me with my weight. And that's the reason why I'm here today talking to you, Amy.
So we have to make a change.
So we have to make a change.
So we're going to make a change with your diet. Okay? So we're limiting your
In my
calories.
eating habits, as far as the volume that I eat, as far as don't eat 2 hamburgers, only eat 1, is that what you're talking about?
We're going to do food based on calories, caloric intake. Okay? We're not so much, we don't count carbs here. Okay? We're looking at caloric intake. But if you reduce your calorie intake, your carbs are going to reduce anyway.
Okay.
Okay?
So they follow.
Yes, they
Okay.
follow. If you lose weight, your insulin resistance is going to decrease. So everything's going to work better. It'll work better for you. Okay? Your numbers will improve.
More in a balance.
Yes.
A
Now,
balancing.
are you checking your sugars
In the morning.
morning time?
Right.
Okay.
And they've been running anywhere from 125 to about 170, depending upon how much I eat that night. And well, it all depends upon whether or not you eat a snack, or whether or not you eat or drink a glass of sweet tea, or a glass of unsweetened tea. You know, I'm figuring out that everything that I put in my body has different results.
Now,
Just like those donuts I was telling you about. Instead of eating 3 per serving, I've been eating 8 or 10 or 12, and I had no idea that was throwing me way off the charts.
so you're going to have to look at food labels.
I'm going to have to identify food labels.
Portion size.
I'm going to have to go to reading them and
Because
understanding them.
you may look at a package of something and the package has 2 servings in it.
It does.
You may have 3 servings, 4 servings.
What's it based upon? Whether or not you're a giant or whether or not you're a skinny mini?
What your serving size is?
Yeah.
Serving size is standard. So it's going to give you a standard serving size on that label with the amount of calories per serving.
So they don't base it off whether or not you're a big person or a little person?
No,
Whether or not you're an old person or a young person?
no, it's serving size.
Well, that's kind of unfair, don't you think?
No, not really. Not really. Because it's just a serving size. So it's up to you to whether you abide by that serving size. Okay? Whether you're going to expend the calories for 1 serving, 2 servings. And this is where you have to become active. You know, you have to make effort to get a result. You have to make effort. You have to put time in to get a benefit.
So you're telling me that whenever I come back here 2 weeks from now, you want to see a paper chart of what I've eaten, the calorie percentage per serving,
No.
and what I actually ate. In other words, you want me to monitor this.
I want you to monitor it. I don't have to see it, but I want to know that you're staying within
The guidelines.
within the calories. Okay.
Within the, what'd you say, 13,
1,500 to 1,600
1,500,
calories.
1,600.
Okay.
I'm probably going to feel like for the first 3 or 4 days or week trying to get adjusted to that I'm starving to death.
First 3 days usually is the adjustment period.
Really?
First 3 days. Yeah.
It'd almost be like a fast then, won't it?
Well, say if
Going from a high octane, basically going to a low octane. Same thing as you putting fuel in your automobile. You know, people that race cars, they don't burn just regular gas. They burn high octane gas. That's the reason why they can do 200 something miles an hour. You know what I'm saying? Because they got the juice in there. So I'm going to have to back off the juice.
Right.
All right, let me ask you this, because I'm going to do this. Do you recommend for me to get on some sort of a program as far as taking vitamins, a vitamin program?
Multivitamin. Just a multivitamin a day is what I recommend. Now, we don't sell any vitamins through here. Just a good 1 a day men's vitamin.
From A to Z. Go to Walmart, get it off the counter. Because I haven't been taking vitamins.
If it's a multivitamin. But now you're going to get nutrients through the shakes too. They're fortified.
They are.
with vitamins and minerals. Yes.
All right, let me ask you another question. Is this similar towards Weight Watchers?
Weight
Does it have
Watchers counts
similarities?
Points. Weight Watchers counts points on foods. We're counting calories. You have a certain number of points per day. I don't know how they calculate their points.
But I actually buy the food here, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I come in every 2 weeks for monitoring.
Mm-hmm.
To monitor how much food I got left. Can I cheat every now and then?
What do you mean by cheat?
Let's say that I'm not at home and I can't grab a hold of the item that I'm supposed to be eating that night, and I'm hungry. I'm starving to death. My body's sugar levels are starting to get wheezy and shaky. Can I still stop off at a restaurant and get a hamburger?
What if there was a baked chicken on the menu?
So you rather me eat chicken than hamburger meat?
Baked things, smaller portions.
Smaller portions,
Most of these restaurants are going to have their calorie content listed. Okay.
right?
If for some reason the burger's the only option for you, how could you save some calories on that? You could take off the bun.
Sure.
You know, think about
Be
your
smart.
calories. Yes, sir. Yes,
In other words, not work harder, but work smarter
yes, sir.
on everything.
Mm-hmm.
I was told to stay away from white items pertaining to white bread, potatoes,
Pastas like the
pastas,
fettuccine, like the fettuccine
Yeah.
pastas. Mm-hmm.
French fries,
Yes.
anything basically white. Is that correct? Was that good
yes,
information?
because that generally has more carbohydrates in it.
And
The whites and the yellow foods.
and the carbohydrates, the carbohydrates is what puts the fat on.
Mm-hmm. And it drives your sugar up.
How about in the morning? I backed off my sugar. I used to put like a whole spoon of sugar, and now I've got like a half a spoon of sugar. Do I
In your
need to start
coffee?
drinking coffee black?
Yes.
Do I? In other words, the less sugar that I use, the better off.
The less sugar that you use, the less sugar you'll crave.
The less sugar that I'll crave.
Mm-hmm.
How does that happen?
When you take in sugar throughout the day, you crave more.
So I'm a sugar addict. I'm basically a sugar addict, ain't I? I'm addicted to sugar.
So
And
we
sugar's what's killing me, isn't it?
So we have to get that out of your system. I mean, can we eliminate all sugar? No. But all the excessive sugar?
Well, what do you weigh? It looks like you maybe weighed, what, about 110 pounds? 120?
No.
I mean, you look good for your size and everything. You look good.
Thank you.
Are you health conscientious towards everything that you eat and everything? Are you?
No, I'm not perfect. No one's perfect.
Every now and then you splurge. Holidays, Christmas,
Right.
you know. Some of those things that you demanding towards sitting at the table and trying to blend in with the rest of the family. I understand. But you don't want to make a routine of it, do you?
Right. Because routinely eating in excess equates to weight gain.
And I was told this, I don't know if you agree with this or not, but most big people don't live long. Is that true?
Oftentimes because of the comorbidities that come along with being obese or overweight. So the cardiac ramifications, hypertension, high blood pressure, sleep apnea. So all of those things combined work against us. And the risk for cancer.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I go into a higher risk?
Mm-hmm.
How high of a higher risk?
I don't know that I can predict an exact number based on BMI, but there is increased incidence of cancer.
Well, let's say most everybody's somewhere in the neighborhood of a 2 or a 3 that maintains their weight and lives a pretty good life. Right now, because I'm overweight at my age, do you think that puts me at a 6 or a 7?
I would think it would be fair to say,
As far as danger, as far as actually obtaining the cancer.
maybe
Do you think that puts me at a 5 or a 6?
possibly.
But you're just hypothetically speaking.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing science. It's no
we know
science.
that-
It's no science in this.
We
like
know
you're
that there
saying.
is an increased risk related to
You just
being-
don't know how much of an increase.
Right, I
there is.
can't give you a set
percentage.
number.
That's kind of a scary thought, isn't it, Amy?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
In other words, I'm becoming suicidal, and I'm doing it out of stupidity, I guess. every time I put a spoonful of sugar in that coffee, to where I know that I could drink that coffee without no sugar. I've done it many, many times before, but it's kind of suicidal because I'm still putting that sugar in that coffee.
You gotta stop.
It almost reaches a level of stupidity, doesn't it?
You gotta stop.
I gotta stop. I do believe in prayer.
I think you can do this. I know you can.
I know I
You
can.
have to commit.
I have to commit. And now that I've gotten a lot of that other stuff, that baggage that was bothering me over there with all the aggravation, I was being tormented. There's a group of people down there called the Wiccans. I don't know if you're familiar with the Wiccans.
I've heard of them.
They're an occult, and they live less than a quarter of a mile from me. And they have literally tormented my life almost to death. And that's exactly what they wanted me to do. They wanted to drive me off into a state of bad health. And they have almost succeeded.
Let me listen to you.
Breathe.
Normal. Good deep breath in and out for me. Okay, normal breathing.
What are you listening to my stomach for?
Your bowels.
What are you hearing whenever you listen to my stomach?
Rumbling sounds. What we call bowel sounds. Open your mouth for me. Okay. Alright. Okay, we're going to do some blood work today.
Okay.
I've got to have Savannah come in and talk with you about products.
Okay. All right.
So she's got more information for you. Okay, you've got that. Okay.
Do you believe that psychologically speaking can have a great deal of bearing on your physical?
I do.
I do too.
I do.
And whenever a person gets drained emotionally and psychologically, it has an effect on their body, doesn't it?
It does.
In other words, if you can keep the mind, healed, because that's one of the things that they practice at the YMCA, mind, body, and spirit. If you can keep the mind healed and strong, the mind is what controls the rest of it.
It does.
And if your mind goes bad, pertaining to you being psychologically, emotionally, chemically strained, or chemically imbalanced, or chemically whatever, it can have a bearing on your physical bearing. Can't it?
You can.
In other words, you are what you eat. You are how you think. And if your mind starts being dilapidated towards being bombarded with too much torment or too much aggravation or too much stress, it can have a profound effect upon one's health, can't it?
It can.
And most of the time it does, doesn't it?
It does. Just like the stress can affect your diabetes.
Uh-huh.
Inhibit control.
Uh-huh. It affects your motivation towards how well you're motivated. It affects everything about your life. See, whenever I went through a bad divorce in 2005, I never pursued the dating world. And since then, basically my hot water got turned off to a cold drip since 2005, which has been like 15 years. I haven't dated or been around